And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Wednesday, the 14th, May 2025. And as always, serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, tariffs, deals, and more deals, and whatever else comes to mind. But lots of the markets. Hope you're having a good day. And if you don't get this show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email me, all you got to do is be nice. It's pretty simple. Just be nice. We can disagree 1,000%, but we do it with respect. Just be nice. We'll be nice back, unless you like Hamas. Then we have a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with a few things that are on my mind, if you don't mind. Number one, that has nothing to do with you and your money, nothing to do with the markets, nothing to do with any of that crap. You know what nauseates me? The little things. Pete Rose. You wait until he dies, and then you give him a chance to be in the Hall of Fame? There's something wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we only have one life. And you know what I used to tell my sons? Every day that goes by, you don't get back. And every day Pete Rose, and leave no doubt Pete Rose was wrong, but every day that went by he doesn't get back, and now he gets no days back. And maybe they'll end up putting him in the Hall, I don't know. But what the hell's the matter with baseball? They're just, I don't know. I don't know. The next thing I wanted to bring up that has nothing to do with you and your money and the markets and all that, the Menendez brothers. In case you don't know, they changed their sentencing from life without parole to 50 years to life, which enables them, since they committed murders under the age of 26, to get paroled now. And you have these people doing documentaries and this, that, and the other thing, and being defended by some celebrity lawyer. I got news for you. I remember things like they're yesterday. They murdered their freaking parents. They went on a shopping spree for a couple of weeks. They blamed it on the mafia. And they got caught. And afterwards, we were abused. And people believe that. They went on a shopping spree for 2 weeks. And they went to play tennis, and they were laughing and having a great old time. But none of that matters. Just another thing that I wrote down that I said to myself, I have a radio show. I think I'm going to bring it up to them. Whatever you guys think of that, it mattered to me. It mattered to me. Next, that has nothing to do with you and your money. I finished Cheers. As I've told you, I never watched Friends. I finally got through that. I never watched Cheers. I got through that, and boy, that show's great. I've got a bunch of other shows that I've never done. I'll let you know. I think maybe I'm going to do The Wire next. I keep being told I got to do The Wire. We'll see. I love the streaming business. What can I tell you? Next, maybe something to do with you and your money and your markets and all that. The president is in the Middle East. And as you know, I have taken him to task on many of things. I have complimented him on many of things. Just recently, I gave him A++ on this speech he did the other day about war and peace. And you get to choose. And I wasn't sure about this Syria thing. And no, I'm going to tie this up for you. The Syria thing, because the guy who runs Syria used to run Al-Qaeda. It's a bad guy. But he's now running Syria because they got rid of that, can't say the word, Assad. imagine, it's not like you're going to arrest the guy, even though you should or could, but imagine if now Syria can get on the right side, for lack of a better way of putting it. You know, many years ago, the Middle East was strife. Saudi Arabia women had no rights. Now they have all the rights in the world. I've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Magnificence! The Middle East is becoming smart. You know who they took after? Israel and the United States. Peace-loving people that just build and grow and produce and build and grow and produce. So big applause to the president, and now he's running all these deals. I believe Qatar now is going to buy a bunch of Boeing jets and all that. But I do want to remind you, just to keep your feet on the ground, when somebody says we're going to buy $1 trillion, it's probably going to be a couple of $100 billion. Just so you know, there was a bunch of this back in the first Trump presidency, and nobody spent what they said they were going to spend. Just remember, they're all currying favor now with the President of the United States, and they're all given all kinds of numbers. There's no way, shape, or form. I'm promising you that right out of the get-go. Write that down. Gary said so. Next, I wanted to bring up, beware Gavin Newsom, governor of California, major leftist. They call it progressive. I call it illogical. He's lucky he lives in a beautiful state with a lot of people working their asses off, because everything he has done in the past, rules, regulations, fees, fines, mandates, taxes, control, and stupidity. Go look up how much they've spent on fast trains that never got off the ground. Interesting, he's now going conservative. He's now talking conservative. You know, he's going to run in 2020. Wait, beware. What do they call it? A wolf in sheep's clothing? The latest, he's scaling back health care for undocumented immigrants. That's what they're called in California. You can call them illegal or undocumented. That sounds like what a Republican would do. Just letting you know. I'm just seeing all these things on a daily basis. This is pretty funny to watch. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. And lastly, I just want to point out the media to you, and then we'll get into the markets, and I got a bunch of things I want to talk about. Be careful of headlines. There were no headlines when Joe Biden was president using the word controversies. You know that. Now they're talking controversies, by the way. I'm just going to read a headline from a local paper. Floridians Pam Bondi and Marco Rubio at forefront of Trump's controversies. So all of a sudden, it's all Trump's controversies. That's how they do things in the media. I just want to let you know. Israel is the aggressor. Headlines. Just wanted to let you know. I saw a op-ed in the New York Times about Israel bad, never mention Hamas, and still hostages out there. Just letting you know. And I know we're a little bit all over the place early, but these things had my interest today because I just noticed things, and we want you just to be careful about it. The media hates you. They don't like you. They're just trying to convince you that one is bad, the other's good. And that's a shame, because what we like is non-biased. We know who the opinion people are on the right. We know who the opinion people are on the left. They get to opinionize all they want. It's the anchors that piss me off. And there are anchors now that were now owning up and writing books. The CNN guy about how Joe Biden wasn't up to snuff for years, even though they said he was. We saw it. You know, it wasn't hard to figure out. I just hope, I hope the guy just has good health going forward, lives out the rest of his life, whether it's 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. Why is he going on TV? Beats the hell out of me. It's a very weird world out there. That's all I can tell you. Okay, we got all that done. Next. The markets. Ignore again the Dow. had another down day, 90. But the markets, artificial intelligence, some mega cap tech, AI, semiconductors. You had another day today, advanced declines on the NASDAQ. Listen carefully. This is going to be important. That's my music. Up next, we'll tell you advanced declines and their importance. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So I want you to listen carefully. It probably has some meaning shorter term. Listen carefully. Today on the NASDAQ, advanced declines were not good at all. Crappy. 1,519 up, 2,761 down. But the NASDAQ was up 136 and the NASDAQ 100 was up 121. Why? Tesla up another 14, Microsoft up 4, Meta up almost 3, Google, which had acted poorly, up almost 6, NVDA up 550. You catching my drift? If those stocks were flat today, I gather the NASDAQ would have been flat, if not worse. Add a couple in there also. So we're just letting you know, right now the market is narrowing while the money's flowing into big stuff, and that could continue. But just letting you know the normality of these things that have moved up, they're extended near term. If they pull back from here, we'll get some corrective work on the indices themselves. Leave no doubt today, it was Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, Google, which had been very weak. Anything else that really mattered that much? Well, Netflix had a decent day also. That was the story. Remember something about what we have taught you throughout the years. Indices going higher as advanced declines go south. If that continues, there is definitive eventuality, unless you get a few months of all the money going into a select few mega cap names, which, by the way, every now and then we have seen. That was the story. And what we are seeing, and I want to explain a couple of things to you. Up until the pause of the taxes, tariffs, up until this China change, pretty much the whole artificial intelligence thing. I'll give you an example. As NVIDIA dropped from 153 down to under 100, NVIDIA never said anything bad. They never came out and said guidance is lower. They never said business is soft. Not a one. In fact, NVIDIA was always saying everything's fine, everything's good, cool, 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 cool. This, that, and the other thing. NVIDIA. While Tesla was dropping from 488 down to the low 200s, all you were hearing is how bad business was. Oh, Spain down 40%, Europe down 30%, Amsterdam down, I'm just picking out whatever, China down this percent. They're selling much less cars. Till this day, they're selling much less cars. During the drop, though, it was getting defended by the analysts who were getting their arses beat by saying, oh, but the robo-taxis. But the market ignored it because these things were in bear markets. Well, because of the tariffs, nothing has changed in anything that's being said. But now, any announcement that's deemed good gets bought up. Any announcement that's deemed good is bought up. Simple as that. Any announcement that's not that good or bad doesn't get sold off. That's what we mean by a change of complexion in the market. We have found out that the tariffs, the most leverage on the tariffs were technology. The tariffs were slamming them. The uncertainty was slamming them. The taking away of the tariffs has relieved them. To what extent, we don't know, but I must tell you, NVIDIA has rushed up its right side. It's still trading lower than where it was 11 months ago. It's still trading double digits down from the highs. But boy, oh boy, it's way off the lows. The actual follow-through day in the market, the confirmation day we talked about, the stock closed at around 100. It's 135. 35% with all the tariff changes. The China change this week is up 16%. As they're talking all kinds of, NVIDIA is going to sell this, that, and the other thing to the Middle East. There's all that talk, and I gather that's part of the juicing. Has nothing to do with steroids. We're just using the word juicing. So just letting you know, that is exactly what we mean by the complexion changing. Bad news is not sold off. Good news is bought up. No news, no biggie. Everything okay. And today, the money flowed into a select few names. I heard Elon Musk was meeting with somebody in Dubai or Doha, one of these places. Who the heck knows what's going on there? Deals, deals, deals. That's all that's being talked about at this juncture. So just letting you know, that was the story of today, as the Dow was down 90, but the NASDAQ up 136, the NASDAQ 100 up 121. And the semis are up 29 as the artificial intelligence names, strong day today. For months, we were telling you, for months, avoid them artificial intelligence names. Now, any constructive controlled pullback, they're to be looked at. That's the story now, until it changes again. And we shall alert you if that occurs. Just teaching you a little bit of the change of complexion in the market. And by the way, into the close today, they were jamming these select few names today. Those were institutions buying into the close. That's how it works. So that's a little bit. On the other end, what was strong before the market bottom? Gold. What is weak now that the market's coming in? Gold. Gold miners. To be avoided until we say otherwise. Up next, more on these markets and whatever else. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. On the other end of the spectrum, I wrote this down. You know, I keep this little book and stuff. Insurance. What was insurance doing while the market was in bad shape? Holding up well. Why did we tell you that? We thought the thought process is they're somewhat defensive. They really are somewhat defensive. Guess what stocks are getting hit now with the market going up? Insurance. In fact, there's a case to say that the whole insurance complex is topping out pretty good here. I wrote that down. Not the end of the world, just letting you know. We mentioned gold. How about defense stocks? Well, we have not been bullish on defense stocks in quite a while. I think there was one like Northrop Grumman that was holding up pretty good, but they're cracking that also. We'd avoid defense stocks still. While we've rallied up, they haven't done much. They haven't done much. Consumer staples. Well, we're rallying up. What usually comes in? Defensive names. The food and beverage and stuff like that. So they've been on the weaker side. Biotechs and drugs. Well, you already know that. We have been telling you for a while to avoid the biotechs and drugs, and it is definitively worsened because of the move afoot by the White House. You do realize they came out and stated, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. We have to do 1 + 1 = 2 here on stocks. You have the President of the United States, not a quiet guy, that has come out under no uncertain terms and says, I'm signing an executive order that demands these pharmaceutical companies only charge Americans what they charge elsewhere, the lowest price. So if you are charging for some whatever $100 here, but you're selling in Germany $20, you now have to sell for $20 here. Now, guess what? It's not like all of a sudden the pharmaceutical companies are going to do that. They're not. They're already up in arms. The lobbyists are already on Capitol Hill. I gather this can go to the courts. Capitalists can say, wait a minute, this is price controls. You should not be telling anybody what to do. Others will say, well, wait a minute. These are monopolies. Well, we're not so sure they're monopolies when they did research and development and they come up with these great drugs. It's very, very shaky both ways on this. But what does it mean to stocks? It's simple. They go lower. And guess what? They continue to go lower. And it doesn't matter what they sell. All of them are going lower. That's all. AbbVie since March 218 to 177. Eli Lilly, just as in the last 10 days, 902 to 715. Nice, huh? I don't have to do others, right? Bristol Myers 63 to 44. And these poor biotechs. Amgen, which is in the Dow, 336 to 262 in 2 months. So we want you to continue to avoid. That's our opinion. And I take that back. It's the market's opinion. We would avoid until we say otherwise the drugs and the biotechs and a lot of medical names. Not all. But I have this one medical screen that has things on it like a thermoelectron medical research company. It's gone from 610 to 406 since February. You know, think long term, they tell you. How about a company called Waters Corp, 423 to 345. These are all medical systems, equipment, things like that. How about IQV, that's the symbol, IQVIA. That's only gone from 252 to 141, so we continue to avoid those. There's a couple in there that are strong. Cardinal Health remains strong. For whatever reason, don't know. Just letting you know. Next, home builders. We'd avoid them. Now, just like everything else, it's moved higher. It's moved higher off the lows. We just avoid them. We think they were carried up because of the market, and they're already starting to weaken. And it's all of them. The one we shout out the most, Lennar, 186 to 108, and still cannot break above the 50-day moving average. Notice what we are doing. Markets rallying up, and we're already telling you what ain't going along with it. And why? We don't want to be in those areas. And what do we do on a daily basis? If more join those areas, well, it's going to tell us about the rest of the market. But right now, other areas have taken the mantle. Oils, they've rallied up a little bit. I wouldn't go near them. And I say that, no, there's a couple of strong oils out there, but I don't think there's anything to do with them whatsoever. And again, they've rallied up a little bit. Actually, the XOP has gone from 99 to 126, but is still an overall downtrend. That's how weak these areas have been. So the oils are not doing much for me either. So just letting you know, we decided to let you know. Also want to mention something. I noticed one of these alternative energy fission power plant stocks was up 15% today. It's one of those stocks that rallied from 20 to 60 back in January, and we told you we're worried about the froth and speculation. Well, they reported their numbers, and somebody was talking it up today, and I was like, wait a minute, okay, let me take a look. They reported their numbers. No sales. No sales. Let me repeat. No sales. In fact, they were a SPAC since 21. 4 years of no sales. Yet it was up 15% today and has a market cap of $5 billion. I'll give you the symbol, OKLO. Why does that have me talking about it? We don't like froth and speculation just coming off of lows. I'm hearing people saying we're starting a new bull market. I've never seen froth and speculation at starts of new bull markets. And that's froth and speculation. $5 billion market cap on a company and goes up 15% on their no sales. And by the way, I didn't see anything that got even close to talking about sales. It does talk about their technology. I go to the website earlier today. Terrific. And I hope it works out. I really do. But we're talking markets here, and we're talking froth and speculation. They have these reactors or something like that. You can go look it up. OKLO is the name of the company. Oklo. You hear that? Fuel recycling, fission power. I don't know what the heck any of that is. But I hope they're a great success. But has a $5 billion market cap with no sales. And still went up today on a report of no sales. And no guidance of any sales going forward. Just reporting to you what we're seeing. And there's other areas. Retail's been rallying up. But man, oh man, I don't know how long that's going to go. Retail stocks have been in big downtrends, and yes, they have bounced because the market's bounced. But as I work through them, and just so you know, I have about 60 names on my screen, I just work through each and every one of them. It just looks like bounces in overall bear markets. Where are the bull markets right now? The bullish phases? Well, you get that new yearly high list and check it out. And you'll see what we've been telling you about. Up next, this, that, and the other thing, and whatever else. Or something like that. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da. You know who just walked into my office? Winston just walked into my office. And you want to hear a great story? It is now 2.5 years. Winston was diagnosed with a very, very aggressive cancer 2.5 years ago. And we were told 6 months. If you do chemo, maybe a few more months. So we started chemo. Within days, my dog was like out of it. Couldn't even get up on the bed. So we said, screw it. If he's going to live only a few months, we want good, whatever it may be. A year later, we bring him in. No problems. Did not grow. 9 months later, bring him in. It just went to a place where they can't do surgery. An aggressive cancer. I gather that was about 7-8 months ago, and they're talking to me about a few months. It's like 8 or 9 months later. Dog is fine. So from the initial few months, 2.5 years. Amazing, huh? And my dog's he's going to be 13 soon. And he's had a full life. And by the way, he's the greatest dog. And you guys know what I mean when I say the greatest dog, right? He's my shadow. Big time, my shadow. Goes wherever I go. I take a step to the left, he takes a step to the left. I take a step to the right, he takes a step to the right. I take him everywhere I go. It's one of those things. That's going to be a tough one. But 2.5 years later. And we asked the last time, you told us months. Well, you never know. That's what we were told. You never know. Okay. I think the chemo would have killed him. That's our little dog story today. Getting back. Our tactics right now is exactly what we did for you on the show today. First, negate everything that's already weak or even breaking down. Insurance stocks. We typically aren't a buyer of insurance stocks, but as I scan them today, boy, they're all topping out. Oh, that one's topping out. That one's topping out. Oh, that one's topping out. We don't have to worry about it. We went through the retail. Okay, they rallied up a little bit. Oh, they look like crap. That one looks like crap. That one looks like crap. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at Lowe's. Okay, great. It bounced above the 50-day, but it's still down $70 from the highs. Nah, forget it. Home Depot, same. So we don't care about that. Oh, I forgot to mention another one. Exchanges. They were holding up well. Waste management was holding up well. Both just topped out. The CBOE, it's an exchange, just dropped from, 235 down to 213 in 4 days as the market rallied up. And beats the hell out of me. Why? I don't really care too much of whys, but it feels like whatever was parked into is coming in. Waste management stocks, that's waste management, WM, WCN, RSG, all topped. So guess what? We ain't going to be in that. And as we're able to pick up more and more names or areas and say, wait a minute, that doesn't look good, that doesn't look good, it tells us we're narrowing, but we'll stick with where the money's flowing. And leave no doubt where the money's flowing right now. It's going back into these AIs that were dead. And NVDA has made a move this week off of the China news. That's usually reserved for small caps. NVIDIA is not supposed to move up in 3 days 16%. There's some mega cap, but who the hell knows? There's talk of deals in Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Doha and all these places, wherever the hell they are. And that's where the money's flowing. And there's some other names also. Meta has money flowing, but that's just up the right side. Google got money flows today, but that's just trying. Carvana. By the way, Carvana, new yearly high, one of the few. A lot of people don't trust that one. And then there's the big banks. I can tell you, inching up, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, inching up. And I can promise you, world ain't ending if the big banks are going up. But still have plenty of work to do. They put in U-shapes, some of these big banks. So just letting you know where we stand, what we're looking at, and narrow day today. But the money was flowing into those names. And even AMD, which has been dead, announces a $6 billion buyback. That was up 4% and change. I think that's about 3.5% of their float. By the way, when somebody announces a buyback, doesn't mean they have to buy it. Just making sure you knew that. Most people do not know that. That's muy importante. And that's basically it on the market. Narrowed a bit today. I don't think it's the end of the world. Stick to whatever the narrow is. And tomorrow's another day. But again, what came up today for me, wow, I can look at this area and that area, and they're already in trouble. And by the way, there's a few other things I can tell you about, but coal stocks, it's only like 3 or 4 names I look at. Still in a bear market. Coal stocks still in a bear. And guess what? We ain't going to own them. And that's how we roll. So, me and Winston right here have to say you have a great evening. Drive carefully. And when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. Stay well. Be well. Right, Winston? He's just hanging. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Thanks for joining. Good night.